All in the Family was like my first comedy inspiration. It wasn't traditional stand-up. I loved what Archie Bunker, not what he was saying, but how he would say it and still be likable. And then there was a show called The White Shadow.
Tremendous.
Which was like an ensemble all in the family.
It was a white basketball coach with an all-black team on CBS on Monday nights.
Yeah.
At like 9 o'clock. It was an hour dramedy. It was one of the first. He was great. He came to the store one night.
Ken Reeves?
The coach.
Ken Howard.
Ken Howard, when I first got there, I shook his hand 80 times. I was ready to give him a hand job because I loved The White Shadow. How old are you, if you don't mind?
50.
So 50. So you grew up at a time when Archie Bunker to me was the people I was living around.
Right.
So to me, it was just another day in paradise. I didn't look at it as an edgy show. That's the way, I had friends, you went to their house. When their dad walked in, hung his jacket up, they would just walk up to you, look at you and say, "Get the fuck out of my chair." And you accepted it. You didn't run home and tell your mom, "Mr. Skakel told me to get the fuck out of his chair." And you sat in the other chair and you watched TV with them,
Right.
One of the best episodes I think I ever saw of him, especially with comedic timing, was when the Puerto Rican found the wallet.
Oh, okay.
In his cab, or I think Sammy Davis left on
he left his briefcase.
But there was something with the Puerto Rican came through from. You know who it was? Chico and the Man.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze.
No. It wasn't Freddie Prinze. It was the guy that played the Spanish guy. In fact, that guy made a career out of playing Hector. On Sanford and Son. I don't want no Puerto Ricans in my house. Right. I was talking about the guy Hector. Hector did Sanford and Son. Hector did the Puerto Rican and All in the Family. Hector also was in a few episodes of Miami Vice in the beginning.
Oh,
Hector rocked. But in that episode, he comes to the door, they invite him in, and he looks at Edith, and he goes, "Edith, don't just stand there. Offer him something to drink." And she goes, "What would you like? I got milk, I got beer." And he goes, "I don't know." He goes, "Offer him whatever Puerto Ricans like." Right, like to the side. And also he looks him straight in the face. He goes, "How about some pineapple juice?" And I don't know how old I was. I fucking lost it. There was 2 parts in television history that I lost it. I watched them live. And I'm very fortunate. The Friday night with Red Fox, when he went into the courtroom, and he's like, "Look at all these niggas in here. There's no niggas in here to make a Tarzan movie." That was NBC Prime.
I know.
It was Sanford and Son at 8 o'clock and Chico and the Man at 8:30. And if you were anything of a comedy fan like I was, for me it started with J.J. Walker.
Oh, sure.
It was Good Times. Then it was White Shadow, and I was a basketball player.
Right.
So I related to White Shadow, Then it was the NBC lineup, which was fucking deadly comedy.
Right.
And if you paid attention, it went on to become Miami Vice, Fridays at 9, and Crime Story.
Oh, I love that
at
show.
10 with Andrew Dice Clay.
I try and turn so many people onto Crime Story, and it was only around for 2 seasons. But
2 seasons. Michael Mann. He had 2 shows on back to back, right? Crime Story was his.
Yeah, Crime Story
and Miami Vice was his.
But that's when Vice kind of started going downhill. Is when he left to do Crime Story. He left it to other people, and Zito left Miami Vice, and midway through season 3, and it was never the same because he was the comic relief with Switek. So. They were like the 2 detectives who would like.
Zito died from the OD.
They
put a
the boxing episode,
and the guy in that episode was Pepe Cerna.
Oh, he's legendary actor.
Pepe Cerna was who got his arm cut off in Scarface.
Yeah,
and I did a movie with him. And one day we were talking. I go, "How was that scene to do?" He goes, "I don't know, but they had 2 arms, and I took one." And I eBayed it for $75,000.
Oh, I love
so he took the one arm from the Pepe Cerna. Who else is in that? episode?
Mark Breland was the boxer.
Mark Breland, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm like Miami Vice is probably my favorite show of all time. So.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
It took me 3 or 4 episodes. No. The pilot came on September of 84.
Which was like
on
a
movie. Sunday night. It was a Sunday night 2-hour premiere. And I was at a bar called Gregory's 7-Day Weekend. Heavy duty bar. Bottles at the door. You know, fucking a loud jukebox. And for some reason, cocaine was at an all-time high. Cocaine was at an all-time high. People were getting high for days. It was September of 84, and people were snorting with both fucking hands in my neighborhood. Everybody was on coke. The whole country was pretty much on coke. And all of a sudden, they released this show called Miami Vice about these 2 cops in Miami that are chasing, the one cop is chasing a guy named Calderon down to Miami, and he teams up with Crockett with his partner, who was played by Jimmy Smits.
Right.
And the pilot is blown up.
Yeah.
So now Crockett needs a partner. You know Tootie, the black girl?
Oh, yeah.
She was a waitress at the store.
Really?
Bro, you have no fucking idea how much history the store has to that. So one night, I'm sitting there in the front, and Chewy, the ex-doorman, is talking to a black guy. The black guy happened to be the black guy in Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah.
The shrimp guy?
I guess so. Tell me his name.
Oh, because he was also in The Great Santini.
Okay, so that black dude is the pilot of Miami Vice. He plays Calderon's middleman. And there's a scene where him and Crockett are working together. This was a legendary night for a guy like me. Like, I've had many legendary nights at the store, but on this particular night, he was standing 6 feet from me. And I didn't know how to approach him. There was no way in my world I was going to approach this guy. He did not know how big of a fan I was of his. What's his name?
It's not Michael T.
I was going to say, is it McKetty? Hold on.
Michael T. Williamson.
Michael T. Williamson.
Michael T.
McKelty Williamson.
Oh, yeah, Williamson. McKelty Williamson. There you go.
So, McKelty Williamson has a line in Miami. He meets Don Johnson first.
With the other guy.
By themselves.
Right.
He meets Don, and then you see him leave a barbecue place. And he gets in his fucking beautiful Mercedes-Benz, and before he gets in, he wipes the side panel with his suit. And he gets in, and he's about to get into a barbecue, and Don Johnson, it's a convertible. Don Johnson jumps in the 450 SLC and smacks the chicken out of his hand. And the guy just looks at Don Johnson, and he goes, "Barbecue on my upholstery? I've killed for less." And he goes, "Save me the tough talk, Leon." His name was Leon. So the night progresses, blah, 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 and he's getting closer to me. And out of nowhere, he goes, "You had a good set tonight. I watched you. Chewy said to go in and watch it, that you were going to be good." And he said, "Michael T." And I go, "I know who you are." And I looked him straight in the face, and I go, "Barbecue on my upholstery? I've killed for less." And he looked at me all weird, and I go, "Miami Vice, 84. And he goes, "Oh, shit." I go, "That's how long I've been a fan of yours, you know." And so he proceeded to tell me he auditioned for it and didn't hear anything. And one night he went up to the Comedy Store, and the black girl at the Comedy Store had just done Trading Motherfucking Places. No, 48 Hours.
Right.
Tootie is the chick that Eddie Murphy meets at the bar in 48 Hours when he goes up to Nick Nolte and goes, "Come on, dog, I just need an hour to get me some Magambo." And Nick Nolte's like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, some Magambo, some trim. It's Tootie. And then on the way out, he gives her money, and she goes, "I'm not a pro. When you get out, look me up, and we'll date. I had a nice time with you." That's the first time you ever see Tootie. When she shot that, she was at the Comedy Store. Eddie Murphy met her at the Comedy Store.
Wow.
And gave her a role in that. So now Michael T. goes up to the Comedy Store, meets Tootie, and in the process of dating, she gets the audition for Miami Vice. They both get it.
That's Right.
Leon gets killed in the pilot.
Yeah, the car.
But she ended up becoming a waitress. That's why it was cool to be a waitress. After the word got out that waitresses were born at the Comedy Store, now they're doing TV series, a bunch of aspiring actresses started getting waitressing jobs at the store.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because it makes sense. A lot of people go in there. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Even
It makes
today.
sense. Years ago, Vanna Chubbuck was a great acting school. But once Holly Berry and the white chick won the Academy Award back to back, they were both her students. Her money went up to the roof. It went from $200 a fucking month to $255, and now every hot chick in town was signing up for Vanna Chubbuck's class. Whatever that fuck. What's the hot white chick, 6 foot tall?
Charlize?
Charlize Theron. Yeah, so
Brigitte
Charlize.
Nielsen.
It was Charlize and Holly Berry, Academy Award winners, back to back, and they were both in her acting class. Women flocked out here to get into that class. And if you got into the Thursday night class in Vanna Chubbuck, agents would be up there giving out fucking checks.
Fuck.
So you had to work yourself up into the Thursday night class. I don't know how we got on this. Forgive me. I did.
No, please.
Miami Vice.
I mean, Miami Vice. I could talk for hours on Miami Vice.
What made you get into Miami Vice? Did you see the pilot? When
Oh
it aired?
yeah, I was into Dallas at the time. You know, JR and all that, and I just wanted the new show.
I was a Knots Landing type of motherfucker.
Gary Shackelford.
Wednesday nights was Knots Landing. I think Thursday was Dallas. And Wednesdays I stayed in. I had a night off from Coke.
Well,
I think it was a shitty ladies' night or something. I wasn't into it.
I mean, Friday was Dallas, so that's why it was a big deal.
Dallas was Friday.
Miami,
right.
it was Dallas, Dukes of Hazzard on Channel 2. And then that's why it was a big deal at Miami Vice was such a big show because it was directly taking on those two shows. So, but I just love the show. And like, you know, Gregory Sierra was the original captain on Miami Vice. And he lived here and he didn't want to go to Miami. He wanted more money for the plane tickets and stuff. So they just killed him.
They blew him up.
Yeah. Not Jimmy Smits, Gregory Sierra.
He died on the...
Like the third episode in.
He died on the boat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. He was the Spanish guy.
No, that was Jimmy Smits died.
Yes, Jimmy Smits died when he got blown up by the
car.
But then in episode 3, they send the Colombian, the Argentinian in episode 3 to go shoot a hit list. Crockett, Tubbs, and he had the captain on there. So when the captain went to save Crockett, the guy was in a watchtower, and he killed that guy.
Yeah.
Gregory Sierra is the guy who I'm talking about, was in Chico and the Man.
Oh, okay.
Look up Gregory Sierra on IMDb. And I'm going to say, that guy was the token fucking Spanish guy here in the 70s and 80s. If that guy ain't worth $10 million, I don't know who the fuck is. Is he dead?
No, I think he's alive. But can you imagine if he stayed on Vice? Like, he just didn't want to travel. And I think he hit him up for more money.
It says he's still alive. He's still working. He took a long time off, actually. But he just did something last year.
What's his TV credits?
Oh my God. It'd probably take an hour to read his TV credits.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh wow. Yeah, he started working in the 60s or early 70s. Yeah, 69. It Takes a Thief.
Tremendous show.
Mod Squad, I recognize.
Mod Squad was another great show on ABC.
The Flying Nun.
Tremendous.
He was in Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
This guy's in everything.
He was in the Bill Cosby Show.
Uh-oh, watch out.
He was
Mission Impossible.
All in the Family.
What year was that, do you think? Because right now I'm in 72.
Keep going.
He was in The Waltons. All in the Family, 73.
Told you. Who the fuck you think you're dealing with? Sanford and Son, 75.
Hawaii Five-0.
Told you. Every hit
Columbo.
Show. Every hit show. He was the token Spanish guy.
Yeah, and that's now we're only up to 74. He didn't stop working. Gunsmoke. Sanford and Son in 72,
How many
75.
episodes of Sanford and Son?
12.
Yep. I do not want no Puerto Ricans in my house.
Barney Miller. He did 35 episodes.
I'm telling you, dog.
I think he was a sheriff, or not a sheriff.
Telling you, a cop, a detective in the fucking room.
Him and Fish.
Yeah. This was crazy. I looked up to that guy growing up. I was like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, how much work does he get as a Spanish guy?
Soap. He did.
Oh, Soap was such a good show.
I'm telling you.
That's
for the time. Like, that's why I love all these shows. Like, so All in the Family, White Shadow. This is when there was only 3 networks. No Showtime or HBO. It was just,
Believe it or not, you're looking at a guy that really, really, really. I think if there was a show that broke me before the Honeymooners, the show Honeymooners broke me. That broke me comically. Sanford and Son and Archie Bunker were great. The Honeymooners took Benny Hill. My combination was Benny Hill. The Honeymooners came out at 11. Odd Couple.
yeah, that's a fun
And the
show.
Twilight came on at midnight. You couldn't beat that. You just stayed in just to watch that shit.
That's weird.
But I always felt that I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
Gregory Sierra.
Gregory, yeah, all
Sierra.
roads lead back to Gregory
Gregory
Sierra.
Sierra was one of those guys that, you just looked up to. You had it if you watched television. I just told you. I just knew who he was on 2 or 3 shows. I didn't know he was in all that.
Oh,
That was a lot more than I anticipated. He worked constantly, guys. Like, they had no Spanish people that fit his mode.
He's like the true definition of character actor.
Yeah.
You don't know his name, but you're like, I know that face. And it's like that episode of The White Shadow where the Russian kid tries to defect from the basketball team. That guy, I forget his name, John something. His IMDb page has to be 500 credits. He's the white guy. He can play Polish, Russian, Jewish. He works constantly to this day.